Good afternoon. Good afternoon. This is Thursday. It is the 16th of March in the year 2023. It's a wonderful day. It's a great day. I am so thankful to God for blessing us all to be here today. He has given us another day to live, enjoy life, and just in case we don't have it right, to get it right. And so that's a wonderful, wonderful thing. Merethah's working, Cleester's working, and Eula's working, I think. So, because I know spring break is coming up, but I didn't ask her. I'm sure she told me, but anyway, I'm here today, my point of view. And it's a wonderful day, dear God. As I sit before you to speak, I pray to you with my soul you will keep. And if I should die before I finish, I pray to you, dear God, in the name of Jesus, that any outstanding sins will be forgiven. Amen. And we're going to talk about setting yourself up for success today. We've talked about self-esteem. We've talked about respect. We've talked about honor. We've talked about dignity. We've talked about pride. We've talked about integrity. And all of those work together for making a successful life. And so I'm sure many of you can relate to this, building yourself up for success. And it's just a wonderful thing. And I am just so happy to be able to present this to you today. And so I'm going to go on and get into it, building yourself up for success. And I have three sites that I went to today. And let me get to this one. Forbes is the first one, and it is www.forbes.com. And it is setting yourself up for success. For success, set here are four powerful steps to set yourself up for success. And Suzanne Ricard Greenway, and this is a council's member, and she's on the coaches council. Okay, and she's coaching high performers to be leaders people choose to follow and make extraordinary and everyday things. So let's go ahead. She has written this, and she published this on this site, February 18, 2020. So let's just go right ahead. Okay, and she's going to give an example here. She said, "I'm so annoyed." Tom, my coaching client, said, "The perfect situation came up just like we talked about. Charlie asked how he should get the data we needed, and rather than ask him what he thought he should do, I told him exactly how to do it." Okay. Tom and I have been working on developing a coaching approach to leading his team, and he was frustrated for missing his opportunity to try it. He said, "I reminded Tom that learning an unfamiliar skill requires building new brain circuits and slipping into doing things the way we've always done them is the brain's automatic response. So this well-groomed neural pathway can easily trip us up when we aren't paying attention. In order to shift out of our regular habits, we need to engage in brain's braking, braking system. We need to engage in the brain's braking system. So, in order to shift out of our regular habits, we need to engage in the brain's braking system, the right ventrolateral prefrontal frontal cortex. Okay, um, creating space between the default action and trying something new. So we see that that part of the brain is affected by this, okay? So creating a new response by harnessing the power of neuroplasticity, okay? We can cultivate more effective skills and habits. So what is neuroplasticity? Let's see. Let's go there, okay? Let's see. Neuroplasticity, there's a whole lot here. There's been a lot of research. It, and it can be viewed as a general umbrella term that refers to the brain's ability to modify change and adapt both structure and functions throughout life and in response to experience. Okay? Just as individual differences contribute to variability observed in brain structure and function, for mechanisms of neuroplasticity also shows significant visibility across individuals. So it can be viewed as a general umbrella term that refers to the brain's ability to modify change, to adapt both structure and functions throughout life in response to experience. So we got that, didn't we? All right, so let me get on back here to it. So now we can cultivate more effective skills and habits. Every time we apply a newly learned skill or behavior, we activate connections between neurons, which in turn develops new neural pathways. So the popularized Hebb's HEBB apostrophe S rule pioneered the Canadian psychologist pioneered by Canadian psychologist Donald Hebb, explains that neurons that fire together wire together. Every time we practice a new skill, we strengthen the synaptic connections, making it easier for the brain to follow this new neural pathway. Wow, that is so neat, isn't it? Conscious prioritization, okay? Now, here's the tricky part though. Our brain is continuously bombarded with information from our environment. If it is a text coming through, it's an Instagram or Facebook notification, a weather alert or email notice, and don't we know that? Meanwhile, our other senses are being hit from every direction. To help it cope, the brain filters out what it deems unimportant, leading us to only see a fraction of what's actually happening around us. We wouldn't be able to handle all of it, but we see and hear so much at one time till it's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. And just think the brain shuts a lot of that out, okay? And picks out what it feels is most important to us. That's its function. So by being proactive and setting daily goals, we can influence what gets through the filters and noticed. So this way we help define what we want the conscious brain to focus on and increase our chances of seeing and hearing things that can help us achieve our goals. We're talking about setting ourselves up for success, okay? Setting ourselves up for success. Hello, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. So, we're learning a new skill. Said, I often encourage clients to prioritize the same goal for several days, varying it from day to day based on their experience from the day before until the skill becomes second nature. When they are ready, they set a new goal. He said you can make technology work for you by setting daily reminders on your phone and in your calendar to take time to set the goal and keep it top of mind. But what also helps the likelihood of achieving the goal is how it's framed. How it's framed. So if then implementation intentions. Okay? If then implementation intentions. So as demonstrated in a study by Gall Witzer and Brand Stoddard, we are 3 times more likely to succeed with our goal when we formulate it as an implementation intention using an if then statement. Okay, so specifying the cues to look for the if and the skill or activity that should follow, then helps the brain keep track of the goal and lessens the chances of distraction. This is neat, isn't it? This is heavy too. It becomes easier for the brain to perceive the cues as they appear and execute the behavior or action, building a strong connection between the two and generating a new neural pathway over time. In response to our conversation, Tom structured his goal as follows. If someone is stuck or asks me how to do something, then I would ask questions about what they think. So, being an audio learner, he decided to use his phone to record his goal every morning and got in the habit of doing it while his coffee was brewing. So, pretty soon, he didn't need the calendar alert, although he said he's kept it on to remind himself to be intentional about his day. So checking in, she said, last but not least, she said, we talked about the importance of checking in with himself at the end of the day to see how he was doing. So taking the time to acknowledge successes helps us to stay motivated, and recognizing the missed opportunities brings them front and center the next time they come up. So Tom tweaked his goal as he got better at recognizing and using this skill and created a list of opportunities where he was trying them out. So the four powerful steps to practice. Four powerful steps to practice. Let me get here where I wanted to get. It's understanding what goes on in the brain and how to develop a daily goal setting habit has helped Tom and many of my clients improve their leadership skills. And this is Forbes.com. Okay, it has helped clients and improve their leadership skills. So, what I'm trying to do is get to where I need to be right here. Okay, now, number one, consciously prioritize. Consciously prioritize. There are four steps to set yourself up for success. There are four steps to set yourself up for success. All right. Consciously prioritize. Consciously prioritize. Put a daily reminder in your calendar and on your phone for goal setting. Taking a few minutes first thing to decide where you want to focus your attention will determine the filters you bring to the day and influence what you notice. And this is a thing of mine. I have Alexa set on daily reminders. I do, and then I set the Google on reminders, and each day these reminders come up, and they will come up until I complete the goal that I've set for myself with these reminders. Each day I have it set, each day to come up, okay? So now, number two, state your goal. Declare your goal by framing it as an implementation intention if slash then statement to help consciously prioritize the cues you're looking for and the behavior or action to follow. Look for these things, okay? There I am. Just want to make sure. And this thing is hiding my necklace here, but that's okay. I don't know why my Bluetooth will not do right, but that's okay. Number three, check in. I'm going to do number two again. State your goal. It's there. You have to have a goal. You have to have a goal because if you don't know, if you don't have a goal, you don't know what direction to go in, don't know what to look forward to or whatever. So you have to state a goal. Declare your goal by framing it as an implementation intention and that's if slash then statement to help consciously prioritize the cues you are looking for and the behavior or action to follow. Number three, check in. These are four steps to set yourself up for success according to Forbes, okay? Check in. Number three, set a second reminder at the end of the day to check in with yourself. How did you do? In which situations did you notice the cues and apply your goal? So, which ones did you miss? Very good, very good, very good. If we practice these, we get better and better and better. Like she said, he did. He's just so Tom is so set up and everything, but yet he still has these reminders to remind him of what he's accomplished and what he's going to do, and all of that, just as a checker. Okay. Number four, reset for the next day. Reset for the next day. Take a moment to acknowledge your successes and let go of the misses. Because so many times we focus more on the things that didn't go right than the things that did go right. And so we know we have to change that order and be thankful for the things that did go right and deal with the things that didn't go right later on, okay? So recognize that you get to try it out again the next day. So repeat this process for the same goal for as long as it takes until you notice you consistently apply the skill. And what did I just say? I said I have this reminder on Alexa every morning at 8 o'clock. She comes in with it. She comes in with it every morning at 8 o'clock a.m. Okay? So repeat this process for the same goal for as long as it takes until you notice you consistently apply the skill. Once you've cracked the new skill, be sure to set a new goal. This way, you will be well on your way to fulfilling your potential. So if you prioritize goal setting, set implementation intentions, and take a meta view of your actions, then you will be set up for success. What do you think? Are you ready to try it out? All right. And this is Suzanne Ricard Greenway. All right. Oh, that was so good. 4 ways to set yourself up for success according to Forbes.com. Next, I'm going to go to setting yourself up for success. And this is integrativenutrition.com. On integrativenutrition.com. And this is a site that I haven't been on before. Setting yourself up for success. 6 ways to live your best life. And that's what we talk about, living our best life. We want to live our best lives. While we have it, we want to live it because we don't know when we might not have it again. So, setting yourself up for success. 6 ways to live your best life. 6 ways to live your best life. And I'm going to have to do a little changing around right here because I have something in the way. In the way. Let's see. And this was published on September the 2nd in 2022. And then, hey, it's been just updated here on the 24th of February in this year, 2023. So let's get on into it, okay? Let's get into it. Setting yourself up for success. 6 ways to live your best life. 6 ways to live your best life. Okay. Now, and this is IIN, okay? It's okay. Now, we all want to. I have to get this out of the way here. See if I can get that out of the way. We all want to be happy. We want to be healthy. We want to have successful lives. But success means different things to each of us, depending on age, where we live, our this thing is here in my way. Let me go and do something else with this font here. Something is bugging me right here. Okay. All right. Here I go. We all want to live happy, healthy, successful lives, but success means different things to each of us, depending on our age, depending on where we live, depending on our goals, and our lived experiences. And that is so true. So, plus, our definition of success can also change over time. What we perceive as success in the beginning of our lives or career will often look vastly different when we're further along in the journey. And that is so true because have you noticed that the older you get, like some aspirations or maybe some dreams that you had that were very, very important to you, but now that you're getting older, you're getting more seasoned, those things are not that important anymore. I feel that way. I do. So, 6 habits to set yourself up for success. No matter how we define success, there are certain daily habits that will support our ability to achieve our goals. Thank you so much for being with me today. I appreciate you oh so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Uh, Hello, Sister Leora. Hello, Merethah. I know you're getting that training in. Okay, number one, move through your day with intention. Oh, this is a good one. Move through your day with intention. It seems like sometimes we go through a day haphazardly, just merely skipping along, da 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 da. But move through your day with intention. Intention is important to cultivate time for ourselves and live each day with intention. No matter how we feel, FILL, our days, finding what works will fill, FILL, our requirements for primary food, that is everything that isn't on our dinner plates, okay? Primary food is what feeds our souls and minds and fuels our relationships, and it's how we treat ourselves and others. There we go back. Your self respect, your integrity, your dignity, your pride, your honor. All of that, we've talked about that, okay? We've talked about that. Number two, invest in a good breakfast. And they've told us as long as we can remember, breakfast is the most important meal of the day. And you know what? Breakfast to me, I really like eating breakfast. I like breakfast, okay? So breakfast is the most important meal of the day. What we eat first thing in the morning will impact our mental and physical performance for hours to come. Healthy, easy breakfast can be hard to find as lots of quick breakfast foods are high in sugar and other processed ingredients. And do you? Sometimes we don't. I don't have. Sometimes I like the bacon, the eggs, the sausage. I like pancakes. All that good, what we call breakfast food. Sometimes I like to eat that for lunch. I might want to eat some of it for supper. And then, like for breakfast, I might want something else. Sometimes I might want fried chicken. Sometimes I might want baked chicken. Sometimes I might want something different. But it's eat it. Just make sure you get that first meal of the day. Some people say, I don't need breakfast. And that's good. That's okay with them. They can function without it. That's good. That's their makeup. But I really like breakfast. So during sleep, chemicals in our bodies work to digest food from the previous night. So by morning, we're ready to break the fast. That's what breakfast is, breaking the fast, okay? After a stretch of not eating. The glucose we need to power our bodies is often low when we first wake up, and breakfast helps replenish it. So, by skipping breakfast, we're not setting ourselves up to have a successful day. Number three, focus on 3 important tasks for the day and do those first. And I think in the last one I just on Forbes, I think it said just about the very same thing. So, like starting with a healthy breakfast, getting important or difficult tasks done first can ensure smooth sailing for the rest of the day. We're often most motivated in the mornings and less likely to be distracted by incoming emails, coworkers' questions, and new projects and tasks. So when we set our most important tasks to be done first, we're ensuring that we'll have the time and energy to cross them off our to-do list. And see, this is staying focused on your goal, staying focused. This is how you reach success. And many of us know we've been successful in many things, and there are other things now that we're aiming to be successful in. So these can never get too old for any of us. Matters not what decade we're in our lives. Okay, so number four, focus on the journey, not the destination. Oh, we talked about this a while back. Focus on the journey, not the destination. So while working toward a goal, especially one that's long term or requires lots of steps to complete, it may be difficult to organize ourselves when we're thinking only about the end result rather than everything required to get there. Research from the Stanford Graduate School of Business found that people who focused on sub goals or smaller, more focused milestones were more likely to complete their tasks than people who viewed the task as one large project. And that does make sense, doesn't it? It really does. So, focusing on milestones during the journey can help us remember why we started in the first place. For example, if you're looking to lose 20 pounds, oh, many of us are, 20 is just a start, okay? It can be easy to get discouraged and feel overwhelmed by the challenge. But if you break up the task into smaller goals, for example, lose 1 pound each week, it feels much more achievable and can yield greater results in the long term, for real. Okay? Because we look at that, oh, I want to get 30 pounds, I want to get 20 pounds, I want to get 50 pounds off. And we're looking at the end of it and not going, taking it in little increments that we can deal with, okay? We just want this off, get it off, and we want it to stay off, okay? And then sometimes we end up not getting it off and then it comes back. So, hey, stop focusing on the end and work with the process, okay? So, number five, enforce healthy boundaries. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for being with me today. Okay, enforce healthy boundaries. In order to achieve any type of success, it's important to set and enforce boundaries that allow us to stay on track. Boundaries, those boundaries come up quite often, don't they? People, behaviors, and habits that distract us from our goals will always be there. It's how we manage those distractions that determines your success, our success, okay? Now, boundaries can be both physical and emotional and are essential for keeping ourselves mentally well as focused on and committed to achieving goals. Because there's so many things that can come up and just distract you, and then well, I gotta take care of this right now, I gotta take care of this, and some things come up, you have to stop what you're doing and take care of those, but not all the time. That's why you have to prioritize, okay, and set those boundaries, because you will be constantly interrupted. I guarantee, as Justin Wilson would say. Okay? So, enforcing boundaries can be difficult, but will prove rewarding. We set these boundaries for a reason. Knowing our limits, valuing our own opinions, understanding our needs, and being able to communicate with them and saying no are all examples of setting healthy boundaries. And I want to do that again. Okay? Enforcing boundaries can be difficult, but will prove rewarding. We've set these boundaries for a reason. Knowing our limits, we've got to know our limits, okay? Valuing our own opinions, understanding our needs, and being able to communicate them, and saying no are all examples of setting healthy boundaries. We've all come across that. All of us have. We have to set those healthy boundaries, okay? In order to be successful in the time that we should be. We should reach those goals, okay? Number six, ask for help when you need it. Ask for help when you need it. And then you have to be led to the right source for that help, not some help that's going to damage you in the long run. So that's why we have to always pray and ask God to lead us to where we need to be, or lead someone to us that needs to be there to help us that's approved by Him. That sounds good enough, doesn't it? Okay, we're talking about setting ourselves up for success. You might be 50, you might be 30, you might be 20, you might be 70, you might be 80, whatever it is, you still have, as long as you have breath in your bodies, you have sound mind, you still have a chance to reach some more goals that you have set for yourself. Okay? Don't ever think, I'm too old, I'm too young. Oh, I should have done that a long time ago. I don't know what I could do. Do it. Do it. Nothing beats a failure but a try. And then if you fail, don't give up. Okay? And just earlier said that you have another day to try it all over again. Okay? Number six, ask for help if you need it. It's almost impossible to live a successful life without asking for help. The people we surround ourselves with, be they friends, family, or co-workers, care about us and only want us to find success too. Now, these people are invaluable resources. They've lived unique lives and had unique experiences, and they may shed a different light on issues you're facing. Professionals can help too. No matter the problem, there's someone out there who can guide us through it. When it comes to health and wellness, health coaches and the life coaches act as supportive guides who help clients set health goals, such as to lose weight, improve energy, better manage stress, and move and much more. They can help with finding a new job, act as a spiritual guide, provide relationship advice, and be a sounding board for general life inquiries. Inquiries, okay. Setting yourself up for success. How each of us defines success depends on our past experiences and personal values. Don't ever forget that. Your past can affect you. It can affect you negatively and positively. So that's why we have to prioritize. And we have to always remember to keep the goal of success in mind. Okay? Some people want to travel the world, while others dream of building a life at home. Being successful isn't necessarily about making money or winning awards, but being personally fulfilled and living a life you can be proud of. And you know, many times when we think about success, what's the first thing we think about? Many times, money, houses, cars, and all of that. But this is telling the truth. It isn't necessarily about making money or winning awards, but being personally fulfilled. See, that's where we get mixed up sometimes. Being personally fulfilled is true success, okay? And living a life you can be proud of. Striving to be a successful person can act as a powerful motivator and help us to grow as people, partners, students, and friends. And this is by Kathy Winokur. Okay, she's a writer. It's Weniger. It could be Winnegar, Weniger. Okay, and she holds a bachelor's degree in English with a concentration in creative writing and advertising from Rider University. After jobs in the field of finance, she wanted to transition to an industry that focused on helping others be their best selves, and discovered INN. This is integrativenutrition.com. Okay. All right. Oh, that's good. That's good. Hi, everybody. Hi, Velma. Hi, Ebron. Hello, everybody. I'm so glad to see you today. I'm looking at my phone, so that's why I turned my head because I'm monitoring on my phone. Thank you so much for being with me. We all have reached success in different ways on different things, but there are still some things that we want to achieve. And I do, I do. Hey, I don't stop. I don't stop. No, no, no. I don't think God put it in us to stop. We have to have a fulfilling life, and we go on and on and on and fulfill this life till the life is either we're in eternity. But don't stop, okay? Don't stop. Success 101, and I'm in psychology today, thinking local, not global. How success and happiness begin with yourself. Anything anybody does successfully has a strategy to it, a series of specific, purposeful steps that can be identified and followed to create good results. Happiness, a satisfying relationship, no goal of any kind is achievable without embarking on a sequence of carefully thought out steps. Carefully thought out steps. Too many people, however, confuses wishes with goals. Too many people, however, confuses wishes with goals. And there is an all important distinction between the two. Man, we're getting into it now, aren't we? Most people have a clear idea of the goal, of what they want to make a relationship work, to make more money, to have a better body. But unless they have mapped out a specific path to produce it, then what they want remains just a wish. Just a wish. My goodness. So here's the catch. Without defining the sequence of steps, they will experience repeated failure in getting what they want. They will get progressively more unhappy that they can't get what they want. And if you would just think, the reason some people are so bitter, so unhappy, so unsatisfied, so jealous, so envious, just downright cranky, is because they haven't defined the sequence of steps and they have repeated failure in getting what they want. They will get progressively more unhappy that they can't get what they want. They will wind up feeling overwhelmed and they will feel like a failure. That will provide ammunition for loathing themselves, and that will send them spiraling down into depression, hopelessness, and despair. So, a goal, on the other hand, recognizes the steps required to make something happen. It also makes some nod to the fact that a considerable length of time may be required to reach it. Goals always involve planning, commitment, and sacrifice. And we know that goals always require and involve planning, commitment, and sacrifice. So, seeing the big picture is a necessary skill in life in its place. Okay? So, but you must also know, and we must also know, when to focus on the details of experience. Thinking in terms of details can help you contain negativity when you experience it and keep it from contaminating your entire view of yourself. This is good. This is in psychology today, okay? You know, we always have to go to the mind place, all right? So, too many people say, I just want to be happy. You know, and you heard people say it. People have been strong. People have been in tears. I just want to be happy. Yes, we all want to be happy, but that's a global statement. It's it's vast and undefined. They have no idea what the steps are. Happiness doesn't just happen, say psychologist Michael D. Yapko, PhD, of Solana Beach, California, an expert on how people get into depression and on sequencing how to get out of it. Dr. Yapko is the author of Breaking the Patterns of Depression and four other books. And it's, you need to have a strategy for getting what you want. You need to detail the sequence of steps for achieving it, he stresses. Okay, and you remember I was talking about how I have Alexa reminding me every day of the goals that I've set for myself every day until I get those goals completed. It'll be on there every day as a reminder. Failure at relationships, for example, is very common and a major source of unhappiness in our culture. And oh, that is so true. It hurts when your relationship fails. And so sometimes, you know, there's this song say, let me see, how did how did we get here? How did you get here? You weren't supposed to be here. You know, I was doing all right by myself. You know, you do all right when you're not in a relationship where, hey, I can speak for myself. Doing just fine, having goals set and everything. And then someone comes in and brings themselves, inserts themselves into my life, and then just go all haywire. And you know, how did you get here? You weren't even supposed to be here. And then come in, and then you have to reset and start all over again. Okay? So, failure in relationships, for example, is very common and a major source of unhappiness in our culture. It is so true because it does not feel good to think that you are in a good relationship when really for some reason it doesn't turn out so well. There's no fussing, no fighting, just pure, I don't know what it is. People disappear sometimes. Okay? All right. So those who can't seem to make a relationship work look at everyone else having a seemingly good relationship and wonder, what's wrong with me? I don't do that, okay? Because I have enough by the grace of God to keep myself busy. And see, and then when people interject, bring themselves into your life, then they interfere with your pattern, and then you make room for them, and then they it doesn't go so right, then you got to reset and start all over again, prioritize again. So that can be confusing to people, it can be disheartening to people, and it is. So that's why they're saying failure in a relationship is very common and a major source of unhappiness in our culture. So those who can't seem to make a relationship work look at everyone else having a seemingly good relationship and wonder what's wrong with me. Not me. No, no, no. Self-esteem. You know, I talked about that. You have to have a good amount of self-esteem. Don't look down on yourself because somebody else came in and I'm thinking about my son. He said, a jack wagon comes in and messes your whole schedule up because you made room for them. But there is never too late to get it back in order. But you have to be strong. Like William Beckton says, be encouraged no matter what's going on. He'll make it all right, talking about God. But you've got to stay strong. So you have to focus. Like I have to keep my mind set on doing the things that make me happy, doing the things that make me happy. And you can be happy without somebody tagging along. And it doesn't feel good when somebody comes in and then it doesn't go like you want to, and then you wasted time and all that. It doesn't feel good. But hey, blow back the trash and take a drink of water and start where you left off, okay? You are the one that can make yourself happy by the grace of God. So those who can't seem to make a relationship work, they say, what's wrong with me? Baby, hopefully it's not you, but if it is, then we're talking about some things right here. So when Dr. Yapko asks such people what they think it takes to have a great relationship, he reports they often come up with something global like chemistry. You know, how Chris said, well, we don't have the same chemistry. Our chemistry just didn't work together. It didn't match. Child, please. Anyway, and it could be true. Okay, all right. All right. Hi, everybody. Thank you for being with me. So, if I then ask the person to create a flow chart for chemistry, the light bulb goes on. They immediately apprehend that there is a defect in their thinking and they are dealing with something they can't possibly attain because it is so undefined. And you know what, talking about this relationship, it depends on how deep personally and physically you get into that relationship. Because if you go all in, it could be very, very devastating, and it is. And so that's why I said, Lord, I thank you. In my seasoned life, you blessed me, you helped me to sustain and refrain from doing things that I would have done or did do when I was a lot younger and didn't have the knowledge that I have today. And then I thank God that His Spirit in me helps me so much. How about you? Okay? So, if I then ask a person to create a flow for the chemistry, the light bulb goes on, they immediately apprehend that there is a defect in their thinking and they are dealing with something they can't possibly attain because it is so undefined. His remedy is to start to talk about the specifics, thinking locally, as it were. He breaks down the elements of relationship success. For starters, there is the degree of fit between two people based on their needs, their preferences, their values, their styles of coping. We look at all the facets of a relationship, he reports. So, recognizing the coping style of a prospective partner is extremely important to relationship success. So, how do you do it? By distinguishing the component parts of coping styles and gathering information about each element. Hey, this is getting a little deep, okay? Does he or she have an internal or external attributional style? That is, if something goes wrong, is it always everybody else's fault? Look at that. If there's a problem at work, for example, is it always the boss's fault? Hmm. If it is, you can figure out just who is going to get blamed if a problem crops up in the course of a relationship, and you can bet that one always will. There will always be something that pops up. So some other pieces of information to gather about a prospective mate. I didn't know we were going to go here, but since we're here, we're going to go through it, okay? Is the person driven by emotion or by logic? Is he or she future oriented or past oriented? Does this person have good boundaries or bad ones? This is not arcane information, Dr. Yapko insists. It tends to leak out early in the dating process, but you have to be paying attention to what is going on. And have you ever thought, I know many of you are married now, and of course, I'm a widow, and I had a great life with Ella Davis, 14 years and 10 months exactly. Exactly, 14 years and 10 months. But have you ever been in a past relationship, and some of us who might be in a relationship now, have you ever thought about sometimes it seems like the person just wants to be related to you in a way because of who you are, okay? To, okay, to have, to know that someone cares for them. Have you ever thought about that? Have you ever thought about that? They just want the satisfaction of knowing that you care. Okay. So here's something you can do to help you understand the specificity. And Davis used to say that word. I think you heard George Bush say that word for the first time, specificity. Okay, here's something you can do to help you understand the specificity of thinking that can turn your wishes into achievable goals. Okay. It is an exercise that Dr. Yapko recommends. Identify 5 activities that you know beyond any shadow of a doubt that you will do well, like wrapping a package or driving a car. Identify every single step, even the obvious ones, involved in that activity. Then create a graphic flowchart that would lead someone who does not know that activity through every step of the process. Are you surprised by how many steps are involved in doing whatever it is that you know how to do so well? I mean, it does, but because sometimes we can just zip through. Excuse me, something, I don't know why my eyes started doing what it's doing here, but anyway. How clearly are you able to identify each of the steps necessary to perform the sequence correctly? What would happen to you over your overall success if you missed a step or two, and how would you feel then? And sometimes we can just zip through something, and until like the flow chart that he's talking about. uh, if we make that flow chart and then we realize, man, I didn't know it took this many steps to do this because we just zip through them because we're so used to doing them. And practice made it flow like that for us. But when we're trying to put it out there for somebody else and teach them the steps, there are quite a number of steps. It's amazing. It is so amazing. Oh my goodness. Oh, look, I am finished with that. Wow. So it is time for me. Oh, hello, Sister Leora. You have a good rest of the day, too. Everybody, thank you so much for being with me. I really appreciate you being with me. It's such a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day. The Lord is good, His mercy is everlasting, and His truth endures to all generations. And I wanted to show off my necklace. Look at there. And then my earrings. So let me know if you want them, okay? All right. God loves you. I love you. And I really appreciate you being with me. You are so wonderful. You're supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. And I just thank you so much for being with me. And when Reedy gets a break, when Eula gets a break, when Merethah gets a break, they'll be back with me, but we are going to continue on in the name of the Lord. And I also want to say to Mary Jo Baker and her family in Denison and Sherman that I'm yet praying with and for you. Mary Jo's granddaughter. They're going to tomorrow, I think, is the viewing, and then Saturday at 11 a.m. at gosh, I used to direct the choir at that church in Sherman. You can find the obituary in Craven's Funeral Home. And they're going to funeralize her, 14-year-old. They're going to funeralize her on Saturday. So we're praying for the family, and I'm praying for everyone else who's bereft. If you're sad, you're confused, you're depressed, whatever the situation is, I'm praying for and with you because God wants you to be your best. And so, whatever fog might be hovering over you or around you, you can make it, was it dissipate? Okay? You can make it go away. And I'm praying with you that it does. Because one thing we can be assured of is the fact that God made us in his own image and likeness. We are closer to God than any other thing. Even the angels are not as close to God as we are. He loves us so much. We are made in his image and likeness. He wants the best for us. It's not his will that any of us should perish, any of us should be lost in eternity. He wants all of us to live eternally, but it's up to us. And it's up to us. But we can be happy. We can be happy. Focus on yourself. I know you've been hurt. Many have been hurt. Many have been in despair. So many things have happened to us throughout our lifetime. But if you can go back, if you have to, and watch this video again, remember you can build yourself up for success. You can accomplish the goals that you set for yourself. Stay focused and remember you are important to God. And if you're important to Him, you are definitely important, okay? Then also, I would like to say tonight, and it will be on Facebook on StreamYard, the Lighthouse Women's Ministry Association of America, Incorporated. We're doing Let the Women Speak. Starting tonight, we'll have two speakers tonight, and we'll have two speakers tomorrow night, and it's going to be virtual. And if I can share it on my Facebook or send a link to it, we will start at 7 p.m. tonight. We have two great speakers tonight, women speakers. We have two great women speakers tomorrow night. Okay, so this is they chose me as the president of this organization. It's a wonderful organization, and so I would, if you will, join us tonight. Okay, I love you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. God willing. We will talk. I'll see you Saturday evening, Sunday morning, and tonight, hopefully, and tomorrow night. Okay? All right. Enjoy your day. Thank you so much for being with me. Oh, God, I'm calling on you. Oh, God, I've been listening to saints to pray. Can you hear me? Can you feel it? Can you hear it? Can you feel